And welcome back to another exciting week here on the Team Draft Super League. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. Sitting right next to me here in our plush hotel room from Las Vegas, Nevada, I've got Ben Stark. Hi, Ben.
How's it going?
Good, man. We've been looking forward to this all day. Just did a little play test session. I got to get a little information from you guys about the GP next weekend.
Are you going to use it against us?
No, because I'm just in the booth, so I just get to talk about it. So don't worry, your secrets are safe with me. But yeah, so we're going to be watching Team Draft Super League tonight. Ben, and you and I have been looking forward to that all day because, well, we like watching this stuff. And tonight we've got a pretty sweet matchup, too. We've got the Gamers Helping Gamers team ready to fight it off. That's John Finkel, Jamie Park, and Chris Pakula.
Old school.
Who we're going to be watching, by the way, Chris draft. And they're playing. Yeah, take a look at them right there. Some people would say greedy New York bankers.
I think that's more accurate.
Some would say Gamers Helping Gamers.
I mean, Gamers Helping Gamers, a great charity they have.
Yeah.
You know, like help Magic players go to college.
Yep.
Greedy New York bankers, a more accurate description of the team members.
Yeah, and we're actually going to get a chance to hear more about the Gamers Helping Gamers charity a little bit later in the broadcast for those of you that are interested. It's a really, really cool thing. Their opponents this time are Goat Stew. Which, do you think Finkel was mad that he's not on a team with the word GOAT in it?
Yeah, I mean, when you are the GOAT, maybe you want to be on Team GOAT. I don't know. You have to ask Finkel.
That's what I was thinking. Jelger Vigersma, Mike Cron, and Rich Owen. And this is a perhaps underrated but very, very powerful team. You know, some of these guys have had some more recent success, but a lot of them were heavy into playing a little bit sooner than now, so you don't see them quite as often. You know, in the feature matches area, in the top 8 and that kind of stuff at the PT, but these guys can all battle.
As somebody else who was there back then, what I can definitely tell you is all three of these guys are people you would see at the team draft tables.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Just waiting around.
Yeah. These are old school players, but these are players who team drafted a lot.
So we've had a good number of drafts now under our belt here. Everybody's got a chance to draft and stuff. Do you have any big takeaways, Ben, from what you've been seeing? You know, you've been opinionated, right? Like we did a round together where we watched somebody draft, and you know, Twitter. There's been a lot of discussion about how to do team draft and that kind of stuff for the Team Draft Super League. Where are you at on it?
Well, the thing is, it's not all or nothing. You know, whenever people are asking you, like, "Hey, should you always be hating like crazy and rooting everyone's deck, or should you just focus on your own deck and ignore everybody else?" Either one of those is wrong. You know what I mean? Every pick it's way more zero sum than a normal 8-man, right? Like, anytime you make the opponent's decks worse than you would have improved your deck by, that's a good pick. Anytime you make your deck better than the damage you would have done to the opponent's decks, that's the right pick. And some drafts you're in a seat where you can't really put together a good deck in that seat. And the best thing you could do maybe is really do a lot of damage to the people around you and put together the best, you know, playable scraps you can. Other drafts, you're in a good seat to put together a great deck, and you should really focus on your own deck and maybe just hate a few cards. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, I mean, it's not one or the other. It's really going pick by pick and understanding, like, wow, the person I'm passing to is probably white. I'm not passing this great white card. Or, wow, I let through a few white cards early, and now it seems like white is wide open. I'm definitely moving into white, even though I could continue putting together a good blue-red deck. If this was an 8-man, I might just continue putting together a good blue-red deck. But I know that white is wide open, and I know the person I'm passing to is likely white. So I'm moving into white to prevent them from getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But likewise, people think like you're supposed to always pass and cut. You're supposed to always do that. But what if white isn't wide open? What if I think, like, I'm passing to you in this draft, Marshall, and what if I let through the best card in the pack is white in 2 of the 3 packs, and there's white cards in the other pack. So I think you're probably white. But then I'm not really seeing white. White's not wide open at this table, not through me. I don't need to move into white. White's not open. You can draft white. I'm not seeing great white. You're not seeing great white either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, if I open a white trial in pack 3, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know you're likely a white player.
Right.
But it wouldn't be right for me to move into white. It would be right for me to just stay blue-red in that example.
So do you effectively have to look at the draft viewer? You know, we've been posting all of the draft viewers so that you at home can follow along with any of the players and watch every single pick that they made and kind of get yourself. And I've been doing that by way of study. Is that really the only way to judge how well somebody did a team draft? Because if they come up and say, look how sweet my deck is, that doesn't mean that this was a great draft for them.
Absolutely. So everybody knows, like, back in the day, Luis was kind of a loose drafter, right? And then we made the top 8 of both of us of GP Indy and happened to sit next to each other, the one that I won back in 2012. And I drafted green-black in that one. And after the draft, Luis comes up to me and he goes, I think I drafted really well. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you first pick? And he's like, Asperia, the blue, white, gold card or whatever, right? And I'm like, well, wasn't the best card in the pack that I passed you blue and then white pretty much the whole draft? Like, I remember those packs in pack 1. Like, you literally just got passed, like, best blue common, best white common, best blue common, best white common.
After taking a gold rare in those colors?
After taking a blue, white, gold mythic rare, you know? And he's like, yeah, drafted really well, right? You know? So,
well, you certainly can't say he made any mistakes there, right?
No, so, like you just touched on, like, how good your deck is and how bad the opponent's decks are, the people around you, yeah, that's something we can use as a data point, but it doesn't tell the whole story. The draft viewer tells the whole story. Now, some seats are easier than others. Sometimes, like, you know, you're just in a really easy seat, like, you know, like you pass in cup without even trying. You know what I mean? Like, you don't open anything you have to hate. Maybe you see one clear bomb and you hate it, so it looks like you just did everything right, but maybe your seat was drafting in easy mode. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But if you look at somebody's finished deck, and even the person they're passing to's finished deck, and you see that once, that doesn't tell you if someone's good at team draft or not. That tells you how well they opened and how fortunate the pack 2 and pack 3 opens were and things like that.
Yeah, you know, one of the really interesting things that I've noticed with a lot of the discussions, you've been a part of a lot of these, you know, where people will pick one pick out of the whole entire draft, and they'll want to know, okay, well, why did you take this over this? And, you know, it really highlights when you see the arguments that it's not just simply a matter of deciding, well, I think that this card, you know, is better for me or worse for them. It also, you have to fold in your personal take on team draft as a format and the card specifically, right? Like, if you think that the Black Trial is one of the better cards in the set, but somebody else says it's passable, you probably would put it in your deck, you know, that's a completely different gap, and you might value it completely differently than somebody else. And it really exposes that, you know?
Right. If you think back to when we covered the first week of this, you know, like some of the picks I disagreed with, for example, when we were covering Reed's draft, I now think Reed was correct about. I would like to offer a little retraction there. As far as the Black Cartouche, I was undervaluing it at the beginning of the format. Now, the team draft strategy, I think I was rock solid on. I think, you know, Reed should have been white-black in that draft, and he should have hated that Black Broken Rare when he wasn't in pack 3. But, you know, for example, you know, I personally was saying I would have taken those Splendid Agonies and stuff, but I think I was wrong. I think Reed and the Pantheon had that pick right in the Black Cartouche, you know? So, yeah, when you watch somebody draft, you got to remember, like, they don't have the same card evaluations as you. If you're trying to evaluate their strategy, you know, you have to come from the perspective of how they value all the cards. And maybe you're right and they're wrong, maybe, you know, in this case or in any case. But ultimately, if you're trying to judge how well someone team drafts, what I'm looking at is the team draft strategy. It's how well do they make picks that are better for their deck than they are the cards they're passing to the opponent. Because it is truly zero sum, if I'm going to say this correctly, in the sense that, you know, Magic's really complicated, but ultimately, if I'm passing a card that provides more value to your deck, Marshall, than the card I took for my deck, then I've hurt our team's chances of winning.
You made a mistake.
Yeah, like I've hurt our team's chance of winning. Now it's more complicated than that, because what is the card you're going to get if I don't if I hate that card, right? Which is some of the more advanced team strategy as far as reading the colors and the packs and understanding where everybody is. You know, an example of what I'm trying to say that I'm not articulating super well would be, let's pretend I got past a pack and I'm black-red and the pack has, you know, Gustwalker, Fanbearer, and the Minotaur.
Yep.
In this case, if I know you're white, I should probably still take the Minotaur, because there isn't that much of a difference between Gustwalker and Fanbearer.
As far as power level, and I'm getting one or the other.
Right. Gustwalker is better than Fanbearer, but if I hate there, you still get a Fanbearer and I get nothing.
Yes.
Right? Now, let's say on the other hand, I'm pretty confident you're white, I'm red-black, and I get past a pack with just Gustwalker and the Minotaur. Only 2-card pack. Now I should hate the Gustwalker, because Gustwalker's better than Minotaur.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you get a Gustwalker and I get a Minotaur, or neither of us get either, it's better for my team if neither of us get either.
And the really cool part is, of course, you know, when the drafters are actually doing this, they're having to do this on the fly, right? I mean, they're having to make these calculations. They're having to apply their own evaluations, context of team draft to that right now. Ben?
Time to go?
Watch? Yeah, they're
Absolutely.
ready. Let's head down. It's time to watch the draft here from the Team Draft Super League.